Hey everyone, welcome to The Bold and the Beautiful. I'm Oma, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love Bold and Beautiful update, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in. Okay. I never thought I'd see the day when everything in my life just exploded. Imagine this. The person you thought was gone forever suddenly shows up, smiling, pregnant, and completely unafraid of you. And she doesn't just come back, she comes back to ruin everything. That's Luna. Electra finally snaps, punches her, and you'd think that would stop her, right? Wrong. She's smarter, more dangerous, and somehow everyone is under her spell, even Will. Meanwhile, Hope is torn between her past and her present, Liam is caught in the middle, and Carter, well, he doesn't know if his heart can survive the truth. Trust me, nothing is safe. Families are on edge, secrets are exploding, and everyone's about to find out. Chaos isn't just coming. It's already here. You have to see this. I don't even know where to begin. Honestly, it feels like my life is spinning out of control at a speed I can't catch up to. Some days, I wake up thinking maybe I'm dreaming, and by nightfall, I'm living nightmares I never asked for. The past few weeks have been exactly like that. And it all started with Luna. Luna Nozawa. Just hearing her name makes my chest tighten. She has this way of existing in a room and turning it upside down. And the thing is, she's dangerous. Not just in a she's mean kind of way. No, she's clever, calculated, and terrifyingly manipulative. I mean, we all knew she had caused chaos before. But I thought she was gone. I was wrong. It all came to a head on Monday, September 29th. Electra, Will, and I were already tense after discovering that Luna had returned and, worse, was pregnant. I swear, it was like some twisted, surreal nightmare you can't wake up from. Electra was furious, pacing the room like a lioness. Every word that came out of her mouth was filled with fire. She was shouting, accusing Luna of trying to destroy Will's life. And honestly, she wasn't wrong. And then, Luna did what she does best. She taunted. She smirked. She didn't flinch. Every cruel, calculated word pierced like a knife. I remember standing there, fists clenched, heart hammering, wondering how someone could be so cold, so remorseless. Electra couldn't take it anymore. She swung and landed a punch square on Luna's jaw. The room froze. Even Will looked like he'd just seen a ghost. Luna staggered, then grinned, like it was a game she was winning. It was horrifying and exhilarating all at once. And that's the thing about Luna. She doesn't just fight physically. She fights mentally, emotionally. And she has everyone wrapped around her finger. Even Will, who should have hated her, was now consumed with conflicting feelings. Anger, fear, and some twisted, reluctant protectiveness because of the baby. Meanwhile, Lee Finnegan was trying to process everything with Sheila. Lee's face was pale, eyes wide with disbelief. She was worried about the professional consequences, the medical license, the lies, the fact that she'd hidden Luna's survival, but she was also angry at herself. She had been manipulated, used, and now she had to face the consequences. Sheila, on the other hand, seemed more preoccupied with Deacon than anything else. I could almost hear her thoughts, even from across the room. What if he leaves me? What if he finds out the full truth? And that's when it hit me. Deacon Sharp had reached his breaking point. He came to Taylor Hayes, frantic and raw. His voice trembled, eyes wide as he admitted that he had lost all faith and trust in Sheila. He didn't know how to reconcile the woman he loved with the lies, with the chaos. And Taylor, she was calm, measured, but there was an undercurrent of empathy I hadn't seen before. She understood pain. She understood betrayal. And for a moment, I think Deacon felt like maybe someone could see his vulnerability and not judge him. It was almost comforting, watching two people navigate their own heartbreak while my own chaos was exploding around me. But no amount of calm could stop Luna from wreaking havoc. By Tuesday, September 30th, the focus shifted, at least temporarily, to something slightly more normal. Beth's daddy-daughter dance. Liam and Beth were in full preparation mode. I saw the photos he sent to Hope, and I couldn't help but notice the sweetness of it all. The balloons, the laughter, the way Beth's tiny hand fit perfectly in Liam's. It made me ache in places I didn't even know existed. Because while everyone else was consumed with Luna, my heart kept dragging me back to Liam, to the family we could be, to the life that felt impossible but irresistible. And Hope. Hope was struggling too. She had an engagement with Carter, a man who genuinely adored her, who had always been loyal, kind, and patient. Yet, seeing Liam with Beth, the way his eyes lit up when he held his daughter, reminded her of what she couldn't stop feeling. The pull of the past, the undeniable connection, the life that she wanted and feared at the same time. By Wednesday, October 1st, Hope was confiding in Brooke. She was honest, raw, vulnerable. She admitted that every time she thought about Carter, she felt guilty, and every time she saw Liam, she felt alive. Brooke, ever the wise mother, offered the simplest advice. Follow your heart. But following your heart when it could break someone else's, when it could dismantle the careful life you've built, is terrifying. And Hope felt it. She truly did. Thursday, October 2nd, brought a slight reprieve as Hope prepared to attend the father-daughter dance with Liam and Beth. Carter understood, which should have been comforting, but it wasn't. Each smile from Liam, each twirl of Beth, reminded her of what she had loved, what she had lost, and what might be reclaimed. The tension, the longing, the sheer confusion, it was all palpable. And then, the news hit like a thunderclap. Luna was alive, and chaos was about to explode again. Friday, October 3rd, was pure madness. The survival of Luna meant that Ridge and Brooke had to confront the very real possibility that the safety of their family, especially Steffi, was at stake. Luna's attempts to present herself as a harmless, pregnant woman were thinly veiled lies, and everyone who had once been manipulated by her could see right through it. And yet, she had power. She had a way of making even the most rational people question reality. Lee was furious, Will was enraged, Electra was shaken, and the Spencer mansion had been transformed into a pressure cooker of fear, anger, and anxiety. Everyone was forced to make decisions they weren't ready to make, to face truths they didn't want to see, and to navigate a moral minefield that seemed impossible to survive. And beneath it all, there were love triangles, moral quandaries, and choices that could break hearts forever. Hope, torn between Carter and Liam, Liam, fighting to protect Beth while managing his unresolved feelings, Carter, confronting the reality that love is rarely simple, Ridge and Brooke, balancing passion with duty, Deacon, wrestling with trust and betrayal, and Luna, who thrived on every second of it. I sat there one night, exhausted, thinking about all of it, and realized something terrifying. Sometimes life doesn't give you the option to pause. It just keeps moving, throwing curveball after curveball, and the only choice you have is how you respond. And in that moment, I wondered, not for the first time, how anyone survives something like this without losing pieces of themselves along the way. Hearts torn and alliances shattered. I woke up that Saturday morning with a heaviness I couldn't shake. Even though the weekend should have been about Beth's daddy-daughter dance, my mind was stuck on Luna. The way she smiled at Electra after being punched, the smugness, the lack of remorse, it still haunted me. I kept replaying it over and over, and it made my stomach churn. How could someone be so cruel, so unapologetically twisted, and still find a way to manipulate everyone around them? At the Spencer mansion, the tension was palpable. Will's anger was simmering just beneath the surface, barely held in check. He kept pacing, muttering to himself, clenching his fists every time Luna's name was mentioned. Electra tried to stay calm, but I could see it in her eyes. The fear, the exhaustion, the frustration. She had never been tested like this before, and I could hardly blame her for snapping. Luna had pushed them all to the edge. And then there was the pregnancy. Every conversation about Luna inevitably circled back to it, and it twisted the knife even further. Will's protectiveness over the baby, his conflicting emotions toward Luna, it was terrifying to watch. He hated her, yes, but there was also this strange, undeniable pull toward ensuring she didn't get hurt. It was like a cruel joke that life had played on him. The same man who had every reason to despise her was now caught in this impossible web of feelings. Meanwhile, Lee was dealing with her own storm. At Il Giardino, she had spent hours talking with Sheila, trying to untangle the mess of lies, mistakes, and half-truths. Lee's hands shook as she held her coffee cup, eyes wide with disbelief. "I can't believe how far this has gone," she whispered, almost to herself. Sheila, ever calculating, was more focused on Deacon. She fretted, wringing her hands, muttering about whether he would leave her, whether he could ever forgive her. I wanted to scream at her to focus on the bigger picture, Luna, but instead, I just watched, feeling powerless. Deacon's visit to Taylor's office that morning was something I will never forget. He came in looking like a man haunted. His eyes were red-rimmed, hands gripping the armrests as if holding on to them could keep the world from falling apart. He told Taylor about Luna's survival, about Sheila's betrayal, and about the unbearable weight of trust lost. I could hear the tremor in his voice, feel the raw vulnerability that rarely gets shared. Taylor, calm and compassionate, listened, offering words that were soothing yet firm. There was a connection there, a shared understanding of heartbreak and betrayal, and for a moment, it felt almost human amidst the madness. While all this was unfolding, back at Brooke's house, Beth was bubbling with excitement for the daddy-daughter dance. Liam and Beth were practicing twirls and spins, laughter filling the room. Hope at work, saw the photos Liam sent and felt a jolt in her chest that she couldn't ignore. Her heart clenched as she watched Liam with Beth, the father she had loved, the man who had once held all her hopes. She tried to focus on Carter, her fiancé, who had been nothing but devoted, but the pull of the past was relentless. By Wednesday, October 1st, Hope broke down to Brooke. Her voice trembled as she admitted that seeing Liam with Beth had stirred feelings she thought were buried. She described the warmth in his smile, the way his eyes softened when he looked at his daughter, and how it made her ache in ways Carter never could. Brooke, ever the guiding mother, gently suggested that Hope needed to follow her heart, even if it meant heartbreak for others. "Sometimes," Brooke said softly, "love doesn't wait for timing. It chooses you." Thursday, October 2nd, was the dance. The room at Brooke's house was decorated with balloons and streamers, a perfect, cheerful scene that contrasted sharply with the turmoil everyone was feeling inside. Beth's laughter was infectious, and Liam's pride as he twirled his daughter was heartwarming. Hope tried to focus on the joy, on the innocence of the moment, but her thoughts kept drifting back to Carter. She felt guilty for even thinking about Liam, guilty for longing for a life that could never exist without breaking someone else's heart. Carter, to his credit, was supportive. He knew how important this moment was for Hope and Beth, and he encouraged her to go. But I could see the pain in his eyes, the slight slump in his shoulders, the subtle way he tried not to show the heartbreak clawing at him. He had loved Hope for so long, and now he had to watch her heart strain against him, pulled toward someone else. Friday, October 3rd, was when the news dropped like a bomb. Luna was alive, and the ramifications were enormous. Ridge and Brooke, already juggling family dynamics, had to process the potential threat to Steffi and the rest of the family. Luna's attempts to feign innocence were pathetic, but somehow effective. Everyone knew she was dangerous, yet she still had an uncanny ability to manipulate perception. Will's hatred of her intensified. Electra was exhausted, drained, and on edge. Even Ivy, upon returning to the mansion, could feel the tension crackling like static electricity in the air. The week of October 6th through 10th was a blur of emotional upheaval. Ridge was obsessed with protecting Steffi and the family, sometimes to the point of irrationality. Katie tried to mediate, convincing him not to involve the police and to rely on trust rather than force. Will struggled with his animosity toward Luna while simultaneously grappling with the possibility of losing Electra. Lee, determined to see justice served, refused to back down. Meanwhile, Daphne's prospects improved as Hope gravitated toward Liam, unintentionally leaving Carter in a painful limbo. Hope's dilemma became unbearable. Every glance, every moment with Liam, reminded her of what she still wanted, what she could never fully claim without hurting Carter. And yet, each time Carter spoke, his gentle reassurances and patient love reminded her of what she could lose if she followed her heart. Her mind and heart were at war, and I could feel her pain in every tremble of her voice, every tear she tried to hide. Deacon, amidst all this, took another step into chaos. Visiting Forrester Creations, trying to guide his son Dee, attempting to make sense of the fractured alliances and relationships. It was overwhelming. And yet, in the middle of all this madness, small moments of hope appeared. A smile here, a hug there, a fleeting look of understanding, reminding everyone that even in the darkest, most chaotic times, human connection can survive. And then there was Bill Spencer, quietly maneuvering behind the scenes, securing his estate, holding Luna's stash, waiting for the DNA test. Every move he made carried weight, influence, and the potential to escalate everything into something catastrophic. It was terrifying to think how one man's decisions could affect so many lives in such profound ways. By the end of that week, the entire world felt unsteady. Hearts were breaking, alliances were shifting, and the truth about Luna's manipulations loomed over everyone like a storm cloud. It was as if life had decided to throw every challenge, temptation, and moral quandary at them all at once. And through it all, one thought echoed in my mind: love is never simple. Family is never simple. And sometimes, surviving the chaos means sacrificing pieces of yourself you never thought you'd lose.